Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you all, albeit cyber, but it's okay, and I hope I can answer all the curiosity you have about the UN Women. As you already know my name is Mamta Singh. I am HR specialist in UN Women. I started my career with then UNIFEM in 2008 in human resources, and now it has become a UN Woman. And today I will be talking about how human resources functions in UN Women, especially in the recruitment side, so you can discover your career with a UN Woman. Okay, next slide. Julian has already informed that what UN Women does and how we function. And now in this slide, I'll tell you that we have UN Women presence or country offices in 88 countries. I should correct, actually now it's just decided that there will be one more office in Switzerland, in Geneva, so it should be 89 countries. And the reasons of Africa, Asia, Arab states, Americas, Europe and Central Asia and USA is just the headquarters New York office. So this is where we are. And since Julian also mentioned, and you must be already aware that the UN Women is a newly born organization, so we are restructuring and structuring our offices, so we are hiring left and right in everywhere, not only the specific areas, like some UN organization have a structure already placed, and they are targeting to a certain thematic areas or certain areas of recruitment. But with UN Women, it's not only the specialty priority areas, not only the thematic areas. We are hiring in the management and operations as well. And I'm trying to be a little brief, so we will have an open floor later, and we can answer all the questions. And now, we just got that 80% has not even started the applying with UN Women. So what I will talk about is the starting point where you can apply and with UN Women. There are different avenues to enter with UN Women, and those are international recruited staff, to be an internationally recruited staff, locally recruited staff, and temporary means they are short-term assignments, and it can be a different type of contracts. One is a consultant contract, and the other one is just a short-term contract. And the other is that to enter in any other organization is internship program. Here I would like to a little bit talk a little more. People who already have experience in the areas, they can apply as a internationally recruited vacancies. They can go directly to the vacancies and apply there. And people who doesn't have so many years of experience or who are just outside from the universities, I will suggest to look into the position for a junior professional officers or also a consultant officers where we don't require that many years of experience. And another thing also to entry point is if you apply for international staff members, which we have a difference between fixed-term appointment and temporary appointment. Fixed-term appointment are very competitive, so if you want to enter easily, I would suggest to going with the temporary appointment. And the recruitment process is a little bit easier there. We don't go through interviews or technical tests. It will be only reviewing your experience, which you mentioned in your resumes. And also for a consultant, also we can follow the same process. So it will be a little bit easier to enter. That's the tip I have to enter. And for a career opportunities, you can look into the website, and it is we always open the vacancies, and the vacancies are not only targeted for the internal staff members. It's open always with UN Women is open to internal staff and external people. So it is open to everybody. And there's another opportunity is the junior program officer opportunity, which you can do it by your government. And then I already talk about the consultant assignments. and internships. So all these vacancies announcement, you can look into the website, UN Women's website. Okay, and now talking about the requirements, we do have a certain requirements in which we strictly follow, and those can be academic qualifications or a professional years of experience or language requirement. These are all highlighted in the job description or the vacancy announcement, so you need to look into those. And now in my slide, I'm just going to talk about the professional international staff, which is from P1 to D1. We do have in UN Women D2 and Assistant Secretary General positions, which I'm not going to talk here. But from P1 to D1, in the slide, it has already mentioned that we all need master's degree. Still, we are very flexible that we don't mention like, okay, gender, master's in gender or master's in certain things, master's in accounting. We are flexible in that matter, but we do require a master's degree and the years of experience, which you can see for P1 is 1 year, and P2 is 2 years, P3 is 5 years, P4 7 years, and P5 10 years, and D1 is 15, and D2 is also 15 years.
Mamta,
yes.
If I may interrupt, very briefly, how far is it important to have a previous UN experience to be competitive for UN Women post? And so this is one, and another question would be, how far is it important to have some knowledge in gender equality before applying to a UN Women position?
UN experience I mean, it is important. I won't say it's not important, but we look into the relevant experience, what we have. For example, I'm going to go back to my slide, which here. For the, if you can see the specialist in priority areas, in those areas we require kind of like a gender experience or a woman who has already worked in a woman issues. So that is like more specialties areas. There we look like certain experience, and but it doesn't have to be with UN. It can be with any INGO, NGOs, development field or a humanitarian field. So it's not necessarily like a UN experience is required, and we don't even announce our vacancy announcement saying that UN experience is required. Sometimes we put it as an asset. So that means we are very flexible, and it's not necessary or mandatory. And for a management, for a regional center directors, country representatives, those are like, I mean, you don't require gender experience. That can be coming from a private company, because if we look into it, like how many years of a management experience does the person have on the organization? Does the person have supervised staff members? Does the person has built partnership with other organizations? That kind of experience we will look. Hello?
Okay, thank you, Mamta.
Okay. Okay.
Yes?
So I answered. Yeah, I can go back to this requirement thing, which I finished. So I just wanted to highlight some facts on recruitment in 2013, since like 80% hasn't even applied with UN Women. So I just wanted to mention that in 2013 we fulfilled 103 positions. So it's quite a lot of positions. And also would like to give a little bit of a background. When I started in 2008, we had 240 staff members and about 250 certificate holders and SCs and consultants. Now we have come to the 1,383 members. So we have increased a lot. So we are advertising every year, every month, or every week there is a new position with UN Women. So I would suggest to go to the UN Women website. The total post advertised in 2013 2013 is 132 positions, which we completed only 103, which were like few we carried over to 2014 in a various stages of recruitment. But the total numbers of Swiss applicants were 15 out of 23,457. So it's like it's a very less applicants from Swiss. So I will ask with the audience that how we can attract our vacancies, that you will be attracted to UN Women and we'll have more applications than this.
Thank you, Mamta. Just to build on this, could you just tell us like how long is the recruitment process for UN Women, and also just give us an idea about how many people you are within the HR office doing this job and processing these many applications?
Recruitment process is it has been come down. It was before it was 4 months, and that is from establishing the post to sending a notification to the candidate saying that, hey, you are selected. But now it has decreased to 3 months. And I'm talking about the average. Like some are like we have gone with 8 months or 9 months. The positions are like UN Women representative. Those positions we have to take the receive the government clearance as well. So it depends on a third party also. But if we don't have to depend on the third parties, it can be done within 3 months of period. And regarding HR team, now we have increased, not as much as UN Women has increased. We are still a very small team, but we do have now one person, a focal point for each reason. And I look after all the recruitment. I'm a recruitment head, and so I oversee all the recruitment and outreach activities and also the staffing issues of Asia Pacific. But we do have a special specialist for each reason, and we do have so it's 13 staff members.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And another interesting question, in particular for the people we're having here, about Geneva. You mentioned the Geneva office. If not mistaken, at this stage in Geneva, you have no representation at all. So you're going to have a liaison office, or more substantial and operational office. So what is going to come to Geneva?
We are in an initial stage right now. For the beginning, for this year, we will start as a liaison officer. And as Julian expects, and this will be looking into a human rights aspect, since UNHCR is there, and so and UNICEF also has a liaison office. So to coordinate between all the UN organizations and to work in a CEDA component, we'll have a liaison office. But that means that there will be an opportunity for a national staff members there, which will be open. Few positions will be open, and but in a long run, it depends on how it will go, because it will be on a trial basis, if need be, and it will be a full functional office. But for the time being, it will be a liaison office. And we are already in a
okay. Thank you very much, Martha.
National staff.
So, sorry, we couldn't hear you. The line was cut. You're currently?
We are already in a recruitment process for an international staff for Geneva.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And if I may add just one point regarding what you said before, and Switzerland in particular, you mentioned the GPO. Yeah, just for our attendees, for these young professional positions which are donor funded, so the ones funded by Switzerland for Swiss national are advertised and recruited via SINFO. So if anybody is less than 32 years old, interested to know what's going on with GPO positions, you can come to us, check on our website, or contact us directly. Okay, Mamta, so back to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So just those are the facts, like we are still working on how we can attract Swiss candidates and applicants. And also we are looking into a geographical distribution also. The Swiss nationals is very low. So we will welcome all the applicants from Swiss people. So now, just to make it like, hey, we have an attractive package, I would like to talk about the pay and benefits. We do have a good package on a pay and benefits. Like I may not read the whole thing, but we do have a home leave, maternity leave, paternity leave, and educational grant and travel, rental subsidy, and define benefits and pension at the age of 65 now. So it's there on this slide, so I will not read all of them. But for the country, like difficult countries where post-conflict countries or non-family duty station, which Julian pointed out, we do have like a mobility and hardship pay. That's like a plus point, and also a rest and recuperation. So that will also help to go back staff members to the country they belong to for a certain time and go back to their work, which helps also. I also like to add also, this is a very good benefit because I also worked in Afghanistan, and my family was in Pakistan. Because I could not take my family to Pakistan. They were going to school from there, but with this mobility and hardship pay, I was able to travel and see my family and had like my private life also. And rest and recuperation is also very good. Like you need to be out from the country within 8 weeks of time for a week, and with your annual leave in a week. So you can balance it. Like you can be with your family without working for 2 weeks and go back to work. So there is pros and cons in each position, but there is a plus point also. And as Julian mentioned again before, is that work-life balance, and he has been working very hard with the UN Women staff members. Like there are some units has a very, very heavy workload, but this is decreasing because now we are fulfilling with staff members, and so we are having a few human resources. So the capacity is increasing, and also like it's being a little bit structured also, so it has helped us to increase our workload. And so there's a mentoring program for new staff and development and learning opportunity. So these things has helped for every staff member and has motivated to give more to UN Women. Now going to another slide, where I will talk about like tips and advice on how to apply. As we mentioned, that defining career path, and that means like please read the job description, vacancy announcement. Be ready to be like, okay, I am going to be a UN Women staff member. I will be a civil servant, and I am ready to travel. I am ready to do certain things, and I have this passion that is already that you belong to that job. Then apply for the post only to the one you can do, not like, okay, I am going to go there and learn. No. To enter, please apply for the post what you can do. And reading a vacancy announcement thoroughly, that this is I will request to everybody, because the charm of UN Women vacancy announcement is that everything required from the person is already mentioned in the vacancy announcement. Even the results, like what you will get the results in 2 years' time, is mentioned in the impact of, in the vacancy announcement. It says, hold on a second. It says the impact of the results. So you already know what you will be achieving in a 2 years' time or a 1 year time. So it's there. And reading one by one line of a job description, you will know, yes, I have done this work. Yes, I have done this. I do have the skills. So you can relate to your past experience. This gives you more confidence to apply for the post, and the way you will format your resume will be aligning with the vacancy announcement. So targeting to the specific post is mandatory. general, I am aware that it takes time to apply for the positions, and when you are looking for a position, and like you don't want to kill like 3 hours, 2 hours time applying, but this is like having a base. So please, whenever you apply, even with the same organization, it doesn't matter, and we will look into is that whether you have altered your CV according to the job description. You may think that, oh, I applied for UN Women in a program specialist Turkey, but this is GRB specialist, gender response budgeting specialist, and with UN Women, they already know my resume. Maybe I cannot change. This is wrong. So please change, alter your resume according to the job description. And also think that this is a very competitive. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, Mamta. Just one question related to this this screening process. First of all, could you give us some figures about how many applications, as an average, you receive for one position, and out of these applications, how many are really competitive? Because sometimes you hear really big numbers talking about the UN, and it's a bit discouraging for the people because they think it's just impossible to get to the short list. And on top of that, maybe tell us if you use filters or automatic filters, or like how does it work from this perspective?
And thanks, Rakim. I was coming to that.
Okay, sorry.
Position, it depends. Some positions we received 150 applicants to 700 applicants, depending on the position. So, about the shortlisting screening, we still do manually. We read each of the CVs. The only thing we will discontinue, we will not even open the resume, is when the person doesn't have, if the vacancy announcement says that we need master's degree and the person has a master's degree, then we will not qualify those candidates. And if we say that language is required for Americas, for Panama, we said Spanish language is a requirement, and the person doesn't have a Spanish language, that will be screened out immediately. And if the person doesn't have, like when we said a P3 position, 5 years of relevant years of experience, and if the person doesn't have a 5 years of experience, we discontinue. Others, we will look very carefully, and we have like a team, which I did not count among the 13 staff members. We do have a consultant hired, so they will go through each and every applicant, and we will review again. And regarding the shortlisting, which I was coming, is maybe I will come when I am talking, if that's okay with you?
Yeah, sure, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so I was mentioning that targeting to the specific post is, remember, it is very competition, and it's a competition environment, so you need to highlight like what you have achieved. Not like, this is a very motivating organization, I am going to learn this, I'm going to flourish my career here. I mean, it's a kind of, we don't look so much into that, like we will look, okay, what's the previous achievement, what the person can bring it, and how you can contribute them, how you contribute to UN Women. That's what we look. So, and so when we look into those, so you need to present your resume here to be to stand out, is that how you present your resume. For instance, like you are starting a career, just like you are young professional starting a career, and you worked all the time in a coffee shop, let's say, and then you don't just say like, I worked a coffee shop for 30 hours, I earned this much of money. No, you will present as, I worked in a coffee shop, and this year I recommended to have a different setup in the coffee shop, which attracted more people. The revenue has been increased from 2000, let's say 11 to 2012 by this. This is showing you achievement, you know, how much revenue you brought to that organization. So that can sell out to us immediately, and that can be looked upon, hey, this person can bring something. And it is not relevant to UN Women experience, but it is something you have achieved. For another example, like let's say you worked in all the time in a development field, but you are like working in a sustainability development in the farm or farming area, and you will say, hey, this is not related to gender. But when you present your resume, you can say, we worked in a farm and we provide a different type of farming which impacted women's life, how it decreased the woman's workload, a house workload, or something like you can put. Like you can look into the overall impact of the program, and you can present that way, so you can stand out. Yeah. So these are the things we will look into, and then we shortlist the candidates. And shortlist, I cannot throw numbers, like if it's 130 applications we received, it can be 30 applicants we longlist and 10 may be shortlisted, or it can be just 3 applicants we shortlist, because it entirely depends on the pool of candidates what we received. So that's why I will say to the audience that to apply for the positions, maybe 5 times you apply, don't get frustrated. Apply 30 times or 40 times, whatever you need. Like as Julian applied 35 positions and he got 1. So this is like you need to apply. Like otherwise, it's difficult, and it's entirely depending on the pool of candidates. You may not be outstanding in one post, but you may be outstanding in a different post. So it depends on the market also. And I will also request revising your resume, like proofreading. Like we will receive a lot of spelling mistakes, and I know it takes 2 or 3 hours, and we will say like, oh, I have already worked on this many hours, or this many times I have applied, and so maybe we just throw the resume. But once we find like 2 or 3 spelling mistakes or something, we'll be okay. But like if they are little more than that, we will say, hey, you cannot even write your resume, like it's a 2-page resume or 3 pages resume. What will you bring? So that kind of a concept also develops. So please revise your resume. And as Julian said, that patience is very necessary with whole UN system, not only UN Women, because our process is a little longer than the private companies, and so since we haven't developed our e-recruitment service, so there's no system which can disqualify candidates immediately, and we will be given a certain pool of candidates, and we need to look only into the certain pool of candidates. We have to revise one by one, so this requires some time, and we don't want to miss a good candidate as well. So we revise everybody and every application, so it takes time. And as I said before also, that it entirely depends on the pool of candidates to be qualified for the post. So patience is necessary, and please do apply. I think this is my last slide, and so to learn about UN Women, you can go to our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Flickr, and also a UN Women webpage.
Okay, Mamta, thank you very much for having shared all of this information. We are now very busy answering the question of the participants. Maybe one good question we have here we cannot really answer, which might be answered by Julia or Mamta. I'll let you see. From Liena, she's asking, could more details be provided on the role of UN Women regional offices as opposed to the country offices, which may be more operational, programmatic, and the HQ level office? And I think that's a good one because that's also something we observe within other UN funds and programs. They are now getting bigger at the regional level, and apparently this is also a trend. This is a trend UN Women is also following.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, I think the difference is that the regional offices have a bit of an oversight over what the country offices do. And also it's important just to note that we don't have country offices in all countries. So the regional offices will work for the whole region and will also sometimes cover countries which are not covered by a separate country office. And on the oversight part, the regional offices really provide programmatic and technical assistance to the country offices. So for example, the regional office will have an expert on economic empowerment, let's say, and then when the country office is developing a program or has a special program that needs some technical advice or policy advice, they can call upon the regional office for them to come and to provide that advice, or not to come, but to at least to provide that advice. So the country offices, I think it's really more of a, very focused national level types of interventions, whereas the regional offices have more of a thematic profile, less operational perhaps, and also I think the regional offices also look at regional trends and try to also do the link with the global level. Here at headquarters, I have to say, we do interact from time to time with the country offices, obviously, but we have a program division who is in charge of more interacting with the country offices. But our communications usually go through the regional offices, and we try to really use as much as possible the regional offices as an interlocutor for a lot of strategic issues and trends and etc. But Mamta, maybe you want to add something.
Yeah, it's the same what Julian said. I just wanted to add, like, it's our structure has changed, as you pointed out. So it's going to be more decentralized, and so from regional offices we have another layer that is multi-country offices in some of the regions. We do have like 6 regional offices and 6 multi-country offices, 48 country offices, and 28 UN Women program presence. So yeah.
Okay, and in this regard, what are the role of the national committees? Because we have a UN Women National Committee in Switzerland doing mostly, I would say, outreach or information work about the role of UN Women, the work of UN Women, and also fundraising. How far do you interact with these national committees?
So we do interact with the national committees very closely. We have a focal point in the Strategic Partnerships Division who is in charge of that. And they have 2 specific roles, the national committee. The first one is fundraising. So fundraising from the private sector, from individuals. In every country it's a little bit different, so I'm not sure what is the setup in Switzerland. But also to advocate with governments for them to increase their funding to UN Women. And then the second role that national committees have is a more of an advocacy role. So, also monitoring trends and developments on gender equality in the country or in the region that they cover, and to report that back to us or to be in touch with us. A political advocacy role, if you like, also lobbying the government for certain laws or, providing advice. They're not like a country office, and really the scope of work of the national committees varies a lot from one country to the other. The other thing that is important to know is that the national committees are independent NGOs they have, of course, a link with us, with UN Women. They support our work and they support our mission, but they are independent and they do not represent, the views or they're not taking our instructions in a way. They are independent. So that's also important to know. So if you're interested to work for a national committee in Switzerland, for example, it's a great idea. And you should definitely consider it as a useful experience. But you will not be a UN Women staff member, and you will not be officially part of UN Women.
Okay, thank you, Julian. I think this is still an important message for the people here. It's also about, being part of the community here, of the people interested by UN Women, interested by gender equality. There is a whole network around this, and the national committee is definitely a way to get closer to the organization. Okay, so Mamta, Julien, we understood you have a lot to do. You have a busy schedule. So I think it's time to close this webinar. The time is over already, but I think it was really interesting to be able to keep on talking. I would be happy to keep on talking for a while, but I think it's time now to close the webinar. Maybe before closing, is there anything you would like to add? Actually, that's what we would ask at the end of the interviews we're doing here within Sinfo when we interview people, so I can hear myself interviewing people. So is there anything you would like to add before we close?
I will say please visit UN Women website and look into the employment side. There are a few vacancies open, and we are targeting to have more Swiss nationalities with UN Women. So it's more opportunity there, and so this is my request. And if you have any suggestions how we can attract you to apply for the post, please do let us know. And I'm available to review the CVs or any other HR suggestions you require later on too.
Thank you.
And maybe I can just add that in fact I'm the only Swiss in UN Women. And Switzerland is, of course, a very important donor and partner of UN Women. So what Mamta is saying is very true. We need more Swiss to come to UN Women, and I just want to say that it's a really exciting. I'm not trying to do the advertising thing here at the end, but it truly is a very exciting organization. It's still a very new organization, and so now is the time where you can really make a difference in the organization and influence the direction of the organization. So if this is something that you are passionate about, really take a chance, and hopefully we see you here soon.
Okay, thank you, Julien. So very concretely, for the people now interested to apply, interested to go deeper into the process, and also to materialize what you just said in saying, okay, Switzerland is an important partner and you would like to support people. This is why Mamta made herself available for reviewing CVs. There will be, of course, a screening done by Sinfo, but still, how it will work now is that people interested to get a feedback on their CV can go on our website and then apply. Afterwards, Sinfo will review the application of the people, make a short list, and afterwards schedule the bilateral talks with Mamta. What you can get out of this discussion is, so it's going to be a 10-15 minutes for or Skype discussion, and you can really talk about your situation, talk about your CV, talk about your profile to see in your field of specialty if there is a possible match with UN Women, when it would be a possible match with UN Women, and how to be more competitive and hopefully successful in your application. So yeah, applications are open until the March 10, and afterwards Sinfo will maintain the communication between you, the attendees, and UN Women in New York. Another important information for our audience is that Sinfo is organizing a forum, a career fair, every second year. It will take place on October 31st, and hopefully UN Women will be present, so it's going to be an opportunity to meet face-to-face, and also other UN entities. So take a look at our website or newsletter, and make sure you can come to Bern on October 31st, and this will be a possibility to meet with the people face-to-face from different UN organizations and different NGOs in Switzerland. Okay, so this is it from our side. Again, thank you, Mamta and Julia, for your time and availability. And above all, thank you for having shared your personal tips, your personal view on UN Women, and your commitment. I think you did it really well. And now we'll see how many applications we get and how we can mobilize the community in Switzerland. Thanks to the participants as well. You stayed connected for a long while, so I guess and I hope this was interesting for you. I can see on my screen if the people are attentive or not. And during the whole webinar, most of the people were very attentive. So hopefully this means that the content was useful for you. So thanks to all of you for your attendance, and we hope to see you again by SINFO, being in October or at any other time. Thank you, Mamta. Thank you, Julia, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.